In this video, I'm going to share my luscious caramel recipe and my recipe for silky chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. Hi there, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel Adventures in Yum, bringing you delightfully delicious food videos that I hope will inspire you to try your very own food adventures. If you're new to my channel, I share recipes for sweet treats and savory eats, food reviews, and oh yeah, some cocktails too. If that sounds awesome to you, please consider subscribing. I'm super excited because I'm celebrating an anniversary this week. Friday, July 17th, marks the 1-year anniversary since I officially launched my food blog. In order to celebrate in style, I figured why not make an over-the-top indulgent cake. Chocolate and caramel is one of my favorite flavor combinations, so I decided to use that flavor profile as inspiration for this cake. Today we're making the first two components of this cake, caramel and chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. Let me know in the comments, have you ever tried to make your own homemade caramel or chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream? And how did it go? Without further ado, let's get to these recipes. First, we're making the caramel. For the caramel, add 1 cup of granulated sugar to a heavy bottom saucepan. Caramel gets super hot, so you don't want to use a cheap saucepan because the pan will be warped by the heat of the caramel. After you add between 1/4 and 1/3 cup of water to the sugar, gently shake the pan to level the sugar. Then, place it on the stove over high heat. The sugar will bubble and splatter onto the sides of the pan. At this point, do not swirl the sugar mixture. Make sure that you are very careful because sugar melts at a very high temperature, so you definitely will get a bad burn if it gets on your skin. Let the mixture cook until all of the sugar is dissolved in the water. Then, place the lid on top of the pot for 1 minute. The condensation will roll down the sides of the pot and help brush the sugar off the sides of the saucepan. After 1 minute, remove the lid and use warm or hot water and either a pastry or silicone brush to brush the sugar off the sides of the pan and allow it to roll back down into the bubbling sugar mixture. You do not want to leave the sugar pieces on the side of the pan because it will help the rest of the sugar recrystallize, which we certainly do not want to happen. As you can see, we are finally starting to see color in the sugar. At this point, we can gently swirl the sugar mixture in order to ensure that all of the sugar cooks evenly. You will only need to swirl the mixture occasionally. When making caramel, it's very important to make sure that you achieve a nice amber color. If you don't caramelize your sugar enough, your caramel will taste sweeter and less developed in flavor. At the same time, you want to make sure that you don't over caramelize your sugar because it'll leave you with a burnt and bitter taste. The color I look for when making caramel is a really nice amber color. Do you remember Jurassic Park? Well, those specimens that are preserved in that amber colored substance, that amber color is exactly what I look for. That signifies that the sugar has been thoroughly caramelized while also making sure that it has not gone too far to become bitter and burnt. When making caramel, there is a very fine line between perfectly caramelized and burnt, but I have the confidence that with some practice you can pull it off. As you can see, we are getting closer to our desired color. Once you reach this amber color, immediately remove the saucepan from the heat. Add the cream and stir it with a spatula or spoon that can be used with high temperatures. Be very careful when adding the cream because the drastic difference in temperature between the cream and the caramel will result in a lot of steam, which has the ability to burn you. Then you are going to add the butter. You may have to pop the mixture back on the stove over medium-low heat if the butter has trouble fully melting. Finally, stir in the pure vanilla extract and salt. Mix until fully combined. Pour the caramel into a heat-safe bowl and let it sit at room temperature for about 20 to 30 minutes. Once the caramel has slightly cooled, put the lid on top and store in the refrigerator. There you have a rich and delicious caramel. And now, the silky chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. For the chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream, we are going to start with adding 1½ cups of granulated sugar and 6 egg whites to a large mixing bowl. Give those a quick stir and then place the mixing bowl over a saucepan with about 1 to 2 inches of boiling water. Whisk this mixture constantly until all of the sugar has dissolved in the egg whites. To double check that all of the sugar is dissolved, you can quickly dip your clean index finger into the sugar mixture and rub it between your finger and thumb. If you feel any pieces of sugar, then place it back over the pot of boiling water until all the granules of sugar are dissolved. Once all the sugar is dissolved in the egg whites, transfer to the bowl of a stand mixer. While I highly recommend using a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer if you do not have a stand mixer. Whip the mixture on a medium or medium-high speed until the meringue achieves stiff peaks. You will need to periodically scrape down the sides of the bowl to make sure that all of the meringue is getting whipped to stiff peaks. Once you achieve stiff peaks as seen here, swap out your whisk attachment for the paddle attachment. On a low speed, slowly start to add the room temperature unsalted butter in increments of about 2 tablespoons. For this batch, I wanted to make a lighter and more fluffy buttercream, so I'm adding a total of 4 sticks of butter or 2 cups. If you want a thicker buttercream, then add an extra stick of butter. When you are adding the buttercream will become a thinner consistency, but don't worry because once all your butter is added, increase the speed to medium and let it thicken up about 2 to 3 minutes. Once it's thickened up, turn the mixer off while you prepare your chocolate. Add 12 ounces or about 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips to a heat-safe bowl. Microwave in increments of 15 to 30 seconds and stir in between each heating. If you burn your chocolate, you'll have to throw it away and restart. Once your chocolate is fully melted, turn your mixer speed to low and slowly drizzle the chocolate into the buttercream. I recommend doing this while the chocolate is still warm because I have added the chocolate when it's cooled and it solidifies quickly and turns into small pieces of chocolate rather than properly mixing into the buttercream. After all of the chocolate has been added and thoroughly mixed into the buttercream, add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Once everything is thoroughly combined, your super yummy buttercream is ready to adorn some delicious desserts. If I had to pick my favorite buttercream, this would be it. And there you have silky chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream. You can find my printable recipe for my deliciously luscious caramel on my website at adventuresinyum.net. And the recipe for my silky chocolate Swiss meringue buttercream will be added to my blog very soon. You can find the links in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you check out tomorrow's video where I will show you how to make the main fillings for this celebration cake, chocolate cheesecake and chocolate mousse. If you like this video, please make sure to like and share. I put out new videos every Friday, so please subscribe to my channel for more fantastic treats and eats. Thank you so much for joining me today, and click right here for another great food adventure. I can't wait to see you for my next food video.